I'm Rochelle Dean.
And I'm Josh Berry. Let's get right to your forecast at 5 with Chief Meteorologist John Farley. And John, it's officially September, but still very clearly officially summer.
It's a scorcher outside. Yeah.
New today, the governor will now allow outdoor visitation at nursing homes that have had no positive cases of COVID-19 in 2 weeks. Under new DHEC guidelines, a facility has to test staff and residents frequently, have adequate supplies of personal protective equipment, and ensure that visitors have been screened before they arrive. The governor says several South Carolinians have called him over the last few months to allow for visitation and says this new plan will keep people safe but give them quality family time.
We are committed to protecting the physical, mental, and emotional health of our elderly and at-risk people and their loved ones. The time has come, based on what we've learned, what we've experienced, to reunite our family members, loved ones, and caregivers safely as best we can.
DHEC says 90 facilities have not had a case in the last 2 weeks, while 31 have only had one in that same stretch. Here's the very latest on coronavirus in the state. 761 new cases and 37 deaths were announced today. The number of reported cases is slightly lower than the 7-day average of 787. The state only conducted 3,300 tests. That's more than 22% coming back positive. And with school starting next week, DHEC announced it will start providing K through 12 cases by school. The first reports will be available Friday.
Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, restaurants across the state and nation have taken a huge hit as they also work to find safe and sustainable ways to keep serving. Well, one of the biggest challenges is the COVID-19 situation is changing daily. And as the pandemic continues, it can leave restaurant owners uncertain about the future of their business. It's been a tough year for restaurants with a sudden closure, then limited reopenings, to now making sure they comply with the COVID-19 guidelines. Many local restaurants are small businesses and they don't have the deep pockets needed to sustain themselves like bigger chains have.
Columbia and a lot of South Carolina is built on these independent restaurants that we love so much. And a lot of them did not and do not have the cash reserves to withstand, this amount of time with this little volume.
And the director of USC's School there of Restaurants, DiPietro, adds that it's up to us, the consumers, to keep the small restaurants going, even if you are uncomfortable dining in those stores right now. Many restaurants are offering gift certificates online and other ways that you can still support them.
The Columbia police sergeant accused of repeating a racial slur that was captured on body cam footage has been fired. It happened Saturday night around 11 o'clock when Sergeant Chad Walker walked into a business to deal with reported violations of the governor's executive order to stop the service and consumption of alcohol. Now, police say as Walker spoke with people inside the bar, a man is heard calling him a racial slur while leaving. Police say there was a heated exchange outside, including Walker's repeated use of that racial slur. And this afternoon, members of a group called the Racial Justice Network held a news conference at the Columbia Police Department. The group says they commend the chief of police for terminating Sergeant Walker, but they say there is more work to be done.
This department is having a serious problem with police shootings and racial slurs, that it's going to lose its confidence with the public. It is very important that this department get on track, because when you lose the confidence of the community will not trust you.
The Racial Justice Network says they have future events planned to call for more changes within the Columbia Police Department.
Against the wishes of state and local leaders, President Donald Trump visits Kenosha, Wisconsin, following the protest that stemmed from the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Now, Blake's family is gathering at the site where he was shot, hoping to unite a community in a day of service. ABC's Alex Prochet reports.
President Trump arriving in Kenosha, Wisconsin this afternoon, despite the governor and the town's mayor pleading for him to stay away.
The timing on this, we felt, was not good.
The president insisting his presence will help calm things, telling reporters this when he landed.
We're going to help the people rebuild their businesses.
in Kenosha, and it's just been a great state. Great people, and we're getting it straightened out.
Before his arrival, the family of Jacob Blake, the black man shot 7 times in the back by a white police officer, making their feelings towards the president known.
We need a president that's going to unite our country and take us in a different direction.
But while demanding justice for Blake, who's now paralyzed, the family gathering at the site of his shooting for an afternoon of service, holding a community cleanup, hosting a barbecue and voter registration drive, and calling on the community to remain calm despite the president's visit.
We're asking everybody here to stay focused on getting justice for little Jake. We're staying focused on helping the Kenosha community get over this horrendous act that has taken place in their backyard.
President Trump on Fox News last night comparing police officers who shoot people to golfers who choke and miss a 3-foot putt.
But they choke, just like in a golf tournament, they miss a 3-foot putt.
The president is not meeting with Blake's family, but is visiting with law enforcement and surveying the damage of recent unrest.
We are not going to create the backdrop for the violent chaos he wants to see.
The Blake family says that Jacob is getting his vibrancy back. He was able to reach out and hold his mother. They also say they spoke at length over the phone with Joe Biden, and that if the Democratic nominee made his way to Kenosha, they'd make time for him. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
We'll keep it here. 2 tech giants have teamed up to create an app that notifies you if you come into contact with someone who tests positive for COVID-19.
Plus, one rideshare company wants you to prove to them that you are wearing a mask during your commute.